Welcome to a journey of impactful careers in estate planning. At GLP Global, we are more than just advisors. We are mentors, crafters, strategists, and creators of legacies. Meet the Wealth Advisor, the trusted guide and first point of contact who helps families and individuals navigate the fundamentals of estate planning, from wills to trusts, ensuring clarity and peace of mind. Then, there's the Wealth Crafter, professionals who delve deeper, developing personalized strategies that align with each client's unique financial and family objectives, laying the foundation for a secure future. Our wealth strategists excel at tackling intricate financial landscapes, focusing on business continuity, succession planning, and wealth growth. They create comprehensive strategies designed to sustain and expand wealth across generations. And finally, the Wealth Mentor, the pinnacle of experience and expertise. These leaders guide new advisors, imparting wisdom and shaping the future of estate planning. At GLP Global, we are dedicated to more than estate planning. We are building futures and crafting legacies. Join us and become part of a journey that leaves a lasting impact. At GLP Global, we believe building a successful business is just the beginning. Securing its future? That's the real challenge. Unpredictable market shifts can put your business at risk. That's why GLP Global specializes in robust risk management strategies, safeguarding your operations and finances from uncertainty. And let's not forget, talent is the backbone of every organization. Retaining top talent with incentives and growth opportunities is key to ensuring long-term success. Growth requires funding, but it also demands trust. With GLP Global, your company gains the confidence of investors through solid legal and financial structures designed to protect investments, manage risks, and foster mutual success. A smooth succession doesn't happen by chance. It requires careful planning. We'll help you identify successors, define roles, and create a clear roadmap for your business's next chapter. With GLP Global's tailored business continuity, expansion, and succession plans, we'll help you protect your success, grow your vision, and pass on your legacy to the next generation. Choose GLP Global, your legacy secured.
Hey, hi everyone. Okay, before we get started, let's do a quick sound check. If you can hear me loud and clear, please type 111 in the chat. Okay, let's do a quick sound check. If you can hear me loud and clear, please type 111 in the chat. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our sharing session on will writing by Unique Will. I'm Happy Tan, your MC for tonight, and also one of the will writing advisors at Unique Will. Okay, first of all, I hope that all of you have a wonderful time celebrating Chinese New Year, Thaipusam, Valentine's Day, a lot of festive events. Okay, so I want to ask, did you all had a great time celebrating with your loved ones? If yes, type 111 in the chat box. Hey, that's great. Okay, I see a lot of 111. Okay, so that's great because today's topic is actually very much related to our loved ones. Okay, for those who are joining us for the first time, Unique Will has been conducting will writing and estate planning sharing sessions, mainly in Chinese for over 4 years now. Okay, so but tonight is extra special because this is our first session in English. Okay, so for tonight's topic is understanding the real purpose of will writing, and will be presented by our team of lawyers, Mr. Gary, Mr. Azim, and Mr. Tam. We are lucky to have lawyer Gary and his team with us tonight because they have been over 15 years of experience in will writing and estate planning. I believe They have encountered everything from smooth estate distributions to very dramatic family disputes that makes you think like, wow, you are like watching the TVB drama. Okay, so this is very common in estate planning, okay, distribution. So hopefully for tonight we can learn something that valuable for us from their sharing tonight. Okay, speaking of will, I'm sure many of us have heard comments like, "Aya, I'm still young lah. Wait till I old only I write a will lah." Okay, this is one common comments I always hear. Then another thing is like, "Yeah, I'm still young. I don't have many assets. Later lah, later when I collect more assets, only I write lah. Okay, I don't know who to give also lah." Okay, and then another thing is, not everything automatic one meh? Need to write one meh? My family members will help me 搞掂 one lah, will help me settle one, no need to worry one. Okay, so all these are sound familiar, right? So most of the people will think that a will is only for the elderly or for the people with a lot of assets. But is that really the case? Okay. That's the purpose we have this sharing tonight. Okay, we'll let Lawyer Gary and his team to tell you why will writing is still important, no matter your age or how many assets you have. Okay, before we start the main topic, I want to hear from you. How many of you already have a will? Type 111 if you have. Okay, type 222 if you don't, or type 333 if you are totally new to will writing and don't know anything about will writing. Okay, type 111 if you have, type 222 if you don't have, and type 333 if you are not sure or you don't know anything about will writing. Okay, so actually, no matter what is your answer, don't worry. Okay, don't worry. Tonight, we will help you to understand the real purpose of will writing and why it is important. And if you already have a will, it's okay, because this is a great opportunity for you to get deeper understanding and to make sure that your will is still relevant with your current wishes and needs. Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start our main topic, so everyone get ready. Before I hand over to Lawyer Gary, I have just two small requests. First is please give your full attention until the end. I promise you'll learn something useful for yourself and your loved ones. And second, don't be shy. If you have any questions relating to today's sharing or relating to will writing, anything relating to will writing, you can drop your questions or put your questions in the chat box in this Zoom, or if you're in Facebook Live watching, you can put in the comments. Okay, we will try our best to answer as many questions as we can during the Q&A session later. All right, are you ready to discover the real purpose of will writing? If yes, please type 111. Okay. Let's give a big virtual round of applause to welcome our Lawyer Gary.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for introductions. So a lot of mathematics to be done earlier. So we are being we warm up already. So you all can hear me. So this sharings, right? Apart from this is the first English sharings, right? We also trying to do it in a new way. Nowadays, people like to do podcasts, isn't it? Rather than listen to me talk. Why not I bring two of my colleagues over here? I have Tams, will be our litigation lawyers over here. And then we have Azim, our legal executive over here. So Azim is being in writing will quite some time. So I want him to share some of the experience. What is the client's concern about will? So today's sharings, right, it's not really that kind of legal questions. It's more like a casual, what they call discussion. And then to talk about what is the family point of view, how to do a will, how to plan, how to execute on all this while. So as the topic say, what is the purpose of a will? So why not we exercise our fingers a bit? What do you think is the purpose of will from your point of view? You can use the chat group and then to type, well, I think it should be distributing asset. Well, generally, I think most of our clients, right, they would think that, well, will is only for distributing asset. Do you agree? Or perhaps we can ask Azim. So normally clients look for you, right? Do you ask them what is the purpose of you? What will they answer? The standard answer, or what generally they will answer then?
Okay, yeah, the number one answer I would say is distributing assets. Another common one is insurance. So just in case anything happens to me, I want everything to be settled. I think the real something that we can extract from that is that most people who write wills, I think their number one thing that they want to solve is peace of mind. They want peace and
I see.
to handle their affairs. I think those are the two biggest reasons.
I think perhaps because insurance, right, is a big payout upon death. So it's a big sum of money. So
I'm using the term insurance figuratively or not literally. So it's like a safety net.
I see. Okay. I thought it's a money thing.
No.
Your insurance means peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Okay.
So what I mean, what I'm trying to say is that I think people write wills because they're worried. They're worried about what might happen in the future, and so they want some reassurance, some control.
I see. It's like concerning their families, right?
Yeah.
Family is what they call the most important thing that we have, you see. So I think they need to do a proper planning to make sure that they have a what they call happier family future. And anything happen is like some strategy happen, at least they got some what they call insurance in their future, you see.
And I think if you don't have anybody you care about, I don't think you'd write a will. So certainly, I think we can make a safe assumption that most people who want to write wills, they have someone that they care about, that they want to make sure that everything's okay, even if they're not around to take care of it.
Perhaps you can go for charity.
Yes.
You can do for charity. Go
for charity as well.
For the public right society.
I would say that this is a very small number of people. I haven't really seen that many people do this, but that's a viable thing.
Great. So how about Tom? You when you look into wills, right? What is your general perceptions on? I mean, perhaps your friends, your parents, or even customers of you. What do you think about the will?
Okay, let's take this into two perspectives. Before practicing, like before becoming a lawyer, will for me is like it's a taboo subject because people will not approach will. Like people will draft will when they're old, right? They're old and frail. Maybe they might have a chance of moving on very soon. So only they will start thinking about their assets, what to do with their properties. But as I join this profession, more into this succession, I deal my day-to-day with doing probate and LA. For context, what probate and LA is, if you have a will, we'll apply to a court, then we will to make the will enforceable, we will get a grant of probate. If when they don't have a will, then we will go for a letter of administration.
Typical litigation always talking about execution, is it?
Yes. Get the process.
So basically, having a will, right, it will smoother the process, the legal process to what they call to collect or then to distribute all the assets. It will be much helpful if you have a will. So rather than to go to the complex cost procedures, right? So at least with the will, you appoint your executors. No need to ask the court to appoint for you.
Yes.
So everyone will going to be, I want to be an executor. Then the court will say, they scratch your head, who should I appoint then?
So if you imagine there's a father got 5 child, then everyone want to become the executor. Then how is it?
Yeah, so everyone will have a different interest, different perception, different thinking, right? Different way of arranging matters, you see. So it's very hard to choose from the 5 of them. So looking at that, right? So taboo, I think Chinese, right? They like to say, when you write will, means that 你咒我死. Are you asking me to die? Well, then in particular, in this Chinese New Year, you go back to see your uncle, auntie. Auntie, do you write will? Then immediately, I think blackface. So, but always people relates, right? Will is a distributing of assets, right? Well, when I die, that time I will distribute. That means basically, if I'm going to die, only I will distribute. So technically, they have a bad what they call best feng shui. If you say you write a will, means that you are going to die. But in any events, right, if you're aware, right, Malaysia have this Distribution Act,
Yes, correct.
right? So this Distribution Act, right, when you reach the age of majority, 18s, right, technically you already have a way of distribution asset.
Yes, correct.
It
Yes.
already prefixed. So if you're saying that if I'm going to die, only I distribute, then I'm going to sure die. But not much of people die yet. It's still like that, you see. So the taboo feelings that, well, this is really not really true. If I go to write a will, then I'm going to die very soon. It's not really true. For the matters of Distribution Act is already there.
Yes, correct.
It's already have a fixed distribution.
Yes.
So the purpose of will is more like to change the method, the way, the manners of distributing the asset. So that's fixed till I want to call formula might not suitable to your family. So that's why you change your view, right? Right view. So let me see. Hidayah I see there's a comments come from Hidayah, right? Well, Wing said to ensure well pass to rightful. Yeah, definitely. That is like how much wealth you will pass on, or like how much. Then later we will explain further. Well, Hidayah, this talk about to smoothen the process of liquidation, and then it's not easy to administer without a will. In particular, we dealing with people. You see, different people got different interests, right? Some people say if you fairly distribute, also a problem. If you not fairly distribute equally, also got a problem. So it's very hard. Why not ask the testator what they want?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Here, should we show the slide so that we can?
Sure.
Yeah.
Perhaps we can go a bit more. So a bit more like will not subject to division of rights for non-Muslims, right? So basically distribution. Okay.
Depends. That depends. If anything happens to the will, for example, if somebody messed it up, or if it's lost, or if someone disputes it and wins, then
But in the way that if the will has
If the will is not-
been challenged, it's not valid by time, right? So talking about Muslim, right? What Muslim perception about writing a wasiat? Is it a taboo like our Chinese?
I don't think it's a taboo, but I would definitely say that we have the same problems as anyone else. So we think that, and I'm just speaking from my perspective. I can't speak for all Muslims, but from what I've gathered, that as we grow as an economy, like around the world, all Muslim countries, there will be more of a need to organize our state. We also know that there is an estimated 80 billion ringgits worth of unclaimed estate. So I would say that this is not so much as like a Chinese or Muslim problem. It's a world problem. It's a problem with all of society. And I think it stems from like the root of who we are. We're lazy. We don't like to think hard about the future. And most of us realize, well, we're dead. We're not going to care. So there's this sort of reluctance to think about dealing with this. And then when you think about Muslims, they have other things to think about. They have the far right distribution. They have the Sharia law. So these things will discourage, I think, and especially if you risk offending your religion, if you risk offending your faith, that might also contribute to like a reluctance to touch this subject.
So people tends to do it later lah. Perhaps I will do it. I will think it off. I think it later. Okay. Well, so today's right, we're going to the topic. In fact, right, we have not go into topic yet. So we just have a casual discussion as to what's the purpose. Well, basically we have distribution asset, right? So some people is like smoothen the court process as times talk about, and then there are some compliance with the particulars. What they call law, Sharia compliance is one of the issues that we need to look into that as well. So basically, the purpose of will is quite wide. So perhaps Azim, you want, from your point of view, right? What do you think that will be the reason to write a will? I mean, after writing so much, right? What do you see the reason of writing a will?
Okay, I will explain that. Just to double check, can everybody see this presentation?
Can you see it?
Give it a nod. Yes. Are we sharing the screen?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
Sure.
Okay, so To explain, to explain the will, we made a little PowerPoint for you guys. It's not going to be a big PowerPoint; it's just a small one. So let's try to organize this and let's try to break it down. So we've broken it down into two specific major reasons. One is to manage people, manage the people in your life, right? That's a simple way of putting it, right? When you're dealing with family members, when you're dealing with lawyers and all these things and business partners, these people will be affected by your death, and so the will offers a way for you to manage all of this ahead of time before you're dead. Okay, so that's one. And then the second one is the assets, the kind of assets that you own. So obviously, the more complicated the asset, for example, if you run a business, or if you have a very expensive house, or maybe you're in that house, you have people that live in that house that are under your care, like an elderly or your child and so on. So these things are more tied to the kind of asset that you're dealing with, right? Who's going to rely on this asset? My house, my business. Who's going to be affected by this? So those are the two things that we're going to go over. So Tom will go over the second part. But I will be talking about, firstly, is choice of people, choosing the people you trust. So what does this mean, right, in terms of the will? Actually, it means a lot of things. It's actually the very fundamental core of will, right? Because imagine someone handling all of your business while you're gone, right? Obviously, you need a lot of trust in that person, right? And then when you give assets away to people, right, what's going to happen? How does that change the relationships? Like, if you give your house to one daughter when you have 3 kids, for example, how would that affect them? So obviously, this process of figuring all this out, when you don't write a will, you don't think about any of these things, and you just sort of pass it to the next generation to deal with that mess. So obviously, there's a lot higher chances of things going wrong. So let's talk about what's the first thing that we think of when we think about writing wills? Well, we think about beneficiaries, right? We think about who should get my stuff, who should get the stuff that I worked so hard in my life, and this is an important question because the testator himself, the person who's writing the will know, okay, this person, maybe he is bankrupt, or maybe he has problems with his debt. So if you deal with it by not writing a will, by relying on the Distribution Act, for example, you have no control over this. So that person, if let's say your brother, if he's has a lot of problems and a lot of creditors chasing him, when he has a right to that asset, it's kind of lost, right? So I'm not saying that this is a very specific case that this always happens, but this is an example of why you should be mindful when you choose your beneficiaries, right? What effect am I going to have when I appoint this person as my beneficiary to receive my assets? Okay, so that's beneficiaries. And then you also have the executors. So the executors, I think choosing one is probably the most important part of the will, because this person will be responsible for taking care of all your things, taking care of the beneficiaries. And then on top of that, if they mess up in any way, if they make any mistakes, they might have to go to court. They might have to be liable because they're appointed by the court. So there's a lot of expectations on them to act accordingly to the rules. And there are lots of rules and laws that regulate this sort of thing. And so if you don't think about this ahead of time, if you have no strategy in approaching this, then it's hard to say that that's better. I think you can always make the argument that it's always better to decide ahead of time how you're going to arrange all these arrangements. So
yeah, I think you have a very good point about the executor and beneficiaries, right? So maybe I want to perhaps you did talk about the person that you trust. Actually, is when I see the slides, right? When I recall back, really we need a lot of people. The moment we appoint someone, right, or we give away some or property to someone's, right? It might be a issue. Example, if I have a house, if I got two children, one children is going to be a bankrupt or possible to be a bankrupt. In any event, if this house is equally given, two of them having equal shares. So it's like dealing is not the person, it's the Jabata insolvency already, if he is subsequently bankrupt, you see.
Yes.
So this is the thing that you must have a what I call backup plan, just in case at the time of my death, right, and my demise, then he's a bankrupt, then how? Perhaps the what they call inheritance rights, right? It should be given to the another beneficiary to let her manage or how to distribute the asset, isn't it?
Yeah, so what Mr. Gary just described is a very common strategy in estate planning. Some testators will choose to write in their will that if any of my beneficiary were to go bankrupt, then it would be as if they died before. So essentially, they relinquish all of the claims and automatically all of their stuff gets canceled. So that's like an example of how the will implies strategy based on experience from the past that we can avoid a situation that's happened before.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem and you think, okay, how do I deal with this, right? Obviously, the right way is to put it into strategy and to execute it by writing a will.
Very good. So I see it's a good point from there. Talking about executor then. Executor, what do you think about? What's your view? Executor going to execute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Someone is very important fiduciary duty appointed by court. As Lim said, it's appointed by court. It's very heavily rely on.
Yeah.
So what do you think about executor then?
What do I think of executor? First of all, the executor is extremely important role because this very person will be the one dealing with all your assets. The assets you have been earning throughout your lifetime will fall into the hand of this executor.
Have you ever had any experience with bad executors?
Bad experience.
Bad
Experience so far, no. The clients are dealing with quite very.
What I mean is, have you ever dealt with a case where the executor abused their power?
For now, not so much. My clients are fantastic people. So they are people that responsible. They find me to do the proper process of getting the probate done. So can distribute all the assets evenly according to the will, according to the plan. So they must first of all be responsible.
Talking about this, right, something that I have a client, right? So basically, this is the eldest son, typical Chinese, is a Hokkien, by the way, it's a Hokkien. Got three siblings. So eldest son, second is a brother, the last one is the sister. So the eldest son is the one who doing business together with the father. So in the companies, right, the eldest son become the so-called directors together with the fathers. And then the younger son is a brother, is doing the what they call sales manager. Well, he's a sales manager at that time. Well, everything is good when the father is there. When the father passed away, right, technically the father said he want to give them equal shares to the brothers and the sister. Hopefully they will run the business together happily. But at the end of the day, right, human is still human. Being the brothers, right, he will say that, oh, well, I've been contributing so much to the business. Then in any event, if my brothers and sister come into the companies, right, I might have a problem with what? I might have a problem that I might lose my control. So this is the things that happen. And then somehow, you know what? You guess what? The father appoint the brother as an eldest brother become the executive. So what if you're the brother, what you will do?
I can sort of guess what happened.
So that case go to court.
Yes, will become a contest.
They have been delayed. The case have been delayed for a few years, then didn't. I mean, how to fight? There's a will over there. So technically, right, in the years, right, by law itself, executor does not need to give any reason for not distributing. Within a year. Why? You give ample of time for them to locate their asset, to locate their liabilities, then you distribute. But this is the time where the executor might have abuse of power. So this is a typical case that happened. So it's not right or wrong. So only that we want to say is different people got different point of view. Perhaps the brother said, this business I started with father. Well, you're just a sales manager, right? I'm the operating, I'm the founder. Why should I? Isn't it? You're taking a salary. You have been taking what you want. You have company car, you have company house. What you want some more, right? You want equal share, isn't it? So, and then the sister, right, caught in between. The sister is just like an account executive, the one to bother all this kind. It's a typical family business, but in that kind of things, right, the family become the family arrangement become an issue. So we try to what they call balance it, try to mediate. So at that time, they managed to see each other. So I said, well, in law, you must respect what is your father's point of view, right? So why not you all try to sell it off your business? Otherwise, you take over the business, you buy over the business, right? When your brothers have monies, right, he can start with a new business, right? Or your sister, he want to continue to work. Perhaps the money can let her easily to get a what they call more easy, comfortable job. So we managed to resolve the issue. So it's the issues that, well, you never think it properly. At the end, right, it become an issue. Then we need to scratch our head to go and resolve the matter, right?
So going back to the presentation.
Okay.
So just now we discussed the executors and the beneficiaries. So now you guys sort of briefly understand like the importance of thinking ahead of time, the strategy, and how you will affect the people around you. So this is the kind of thing that you should be thinking about. Who should be responsible for representing me when I'm dead? And then who should I benefit with my estate? So if you do it wrong, like, you know, in our story, it might end up breaking up your family. So that's the worst case scenario. So it sort of reinforces the idea that doing a will is for the protection, not just for your, you know, for your conscience, for your peace of mind, but it's for the protection of your whole livelihood, your whole family, the whole reason why you started business.
And the protection of family relationship as well.
Yeah. So moving along. So now let's talk about guardians and children. So this is another aspect of will writing, I think, that is easily overlooked, right? And I can also understand why a lot of parents come to us to write wills, because having children is a very strong reason to write a will, right? The law allows us to appoint somebody to take care of our children. All right, we can write it anywhere as long as it's a valid deed. That is an appointment. So a great thing to do when you're writing a will is to appoint ahead of time a guardian for your children. So if your children, if you know that they're still very young, that, you know, they're not going to be adults for another 10 years, anything could happen between that time. And so at the very least, you should have a backup plan for that. You should pick who should take care of your children. And this is a very important question. And depending on your case, for example, if you have a complicated family life, if you maybe are going through divorce, or if you don't trust your partner to take care of your kids, or maybe if, God forbid, both you and your spouse could be in the same accident and should meet your demise together. So a lot of horrific nightmares, but at the same time, if, again, applying the same theme that I've been saying, if we apply strategy ahead of time, this will make that process a lot smoother. And I think for most people that write wills, they can go to sleep at night knowing they have a strategy, a whole plan to execute just in case anything should happen to them.
Very good. Yeah, I agree on that. Well, at that time, right, I talked to my friends of mine, right? We have a what they call makan. So I asked him, do you write a will? Well, my wife is there. So your business is doing quite well. So while my wife is there, no worries. So in any event, if your wife together and you not there, then how? I said, then who will take care of your children? I asked him, your children how old? 9 years old. Yeah, 9 years old. Well, let me explain in a way. So you know, in any events, right, by default, the what they call the guardians, right, is supposed to be your spouse by default. In any event, if your spouse is not around, and then you're not appointing someone else, so who will want to take care of your children? Possibly, maybe your close relative, but who? So I give you a more details there. Imagine you have 5 million asset, right? If you have a 5 million asset, so you left, your wife is not around, you only have children. So who will be your guardian of the children then? Hey, think about.
I'll volunteer. 5 million.
I will take that.
I think perhaps because why? Being a guardian means that you have an interest over the properties itself. So you have a right to apply to this letter administration because you're the one who take care of the children.
Yes.
So I think you are more than willing to do that lah. I'm not saying everyone is like that. I'm just saying perhaps if there is a possibility to happen, you want to appoint someone you really trust, or you want to rely on someone conscious to do it, to take care of your children. So he's saying, when can I meet you to write a book?
So another aspect that people should be aware of is that children are not supposed to have property. So it's not allowed in law that children hold property like immovable property, like a house. So you have to be at least 18 to be able to own a house. So that's not just for immovable properties. That might apply for other assets. So and then you should also think: would a 9-year-old know what to do with a bank account? With tens of thousands, millions of ringgits. So it's these factors should also come into your strategy when you think about how do I plan my will, right? What about my children? Who's going to take care of them? And what sort of assets do I give to my children? And bearing that in mind, if you want to give things to your children, somebody has to hold it for them. Somebody has to hold it for them until they're adults. So that's why the decision to appoint a guardian, to appoint the executor, and so on, these all start to come into play, right? How you put all these together into an effective strategy will essentially determine the future of your children and your family. So this is not something you just scoff at, right? This is quite serious.
Yeah, I did see that strategy planning is more important from that.
Okay, so now that we've discussed a little bit about the people that might be involved in estate planning, let's
first of all, is the person that administration, and then the person that inherited,
yes.
right? So you have administration, you have inheritance in place. Who will be supervised then?
Yes. So one thing that people might not understand, and as a law student, this is also quite strange, actually. The executor technically is not supposed to be representing the beneficiary. So actually, in law, we consider the executor to be representing the testator, right? The person who wrote the will. So in a sense, they have to give effect to the will, right? No matter how harsh it is, no matter how bad it is, they have to follow what's written down. And so for beneficiaries, they might not have any middle ground. They might not have any way to, nobody to look out for them, right? And so if the executor is not working well with the beneficiary, who can step in? So a strategy that we've applied in Unit Will is that we suggest the client to appoint a trust protector. So what does this mean, right? Who is the trust protector? So you have the executor and the beneficiary. The trust protector is a person who would check the executor. So in the will, we would give him powers. For example, the power to ask for accounts, right? What have you been spending your money on? How have you been distributing the estates and so on? What about the taxes and all this, the debts, and mortgage? Like, I want papers for all this. I want to know how you're spending the money. So the trust protector has that power given to him by the will. And then if the executor decides not to play along, he can go to the court, right? Because he has authority given by the will. So this is an interesting approach, a new sort of modern approach on how to deal with this problem. If there's an imbalance of power, or if there's a bad relationship between the executor and the beneficiary. So a common approach that people will often take is that they would make Mr. Gary the trust protector, right? because Mr. Gary is a lawyer, he's had a lot of experience dealing with this, and so people tend to respect his point of view. So, and then he's also a powerful guy. He's an agent of the court, so he can do all these things for, in case, right? Not saying that you need him, but in case that a problem happens, you have a third party that can come in and weigh in, and help resolve the issue.
I think it's more like you are trying to balance out the powers. In the country, we have a separation of power. Everyone will counter check. So I think in the estate planning for the structure to hold on, right, you must have a structure that is stable. As you say, it must be balanced. So the executor will look after the beneficiary, and then anything happen to the beneficiary, you think that is unfair and misuse of power, then they will report to this trust protector, and then trust protector will go and to ask, and then to what they call, to get the information, to check, to supervise them whether you are doing the right things, or you are deviating from what you're supposed to be, right? You interpret it wrongly. So in that event, right, perhaps you are so what they call neglected your job. Why not we just remove you? Then we need to look for a time to go to a court to remove this executor.
Yes.
Right. But in any events, right, do you know that you can appoint 4 executors, either as a committee or one after another? But which we always see is, right, people only appoint 1, right? Or 1 or 2. But you have a right to appoint 4. Why you don't want? Just like one after another. Perhaps the executor, first of all, OH, might be pre-deceased.
They might go missing.
They might go missing. Something might happen to them. They're not willing. So having a backup to appoint the what I call the one after another, right, is better. You see, like in law, if you're talking about guardians, you need to have 2 executors, right? And about children, you have a minor, you need to have 2 executors. So I see a lot of people only appoint 1. They don't have a choice. The court might say, well, I don't see a proper executor over here. Everyone, you only have 1 executor. So that you need to go for letter administration to appoint 2 executors in the place, because the reason is there's a minor. Right?
That will be a problem.
There will be a problem. Time delays, and then well, the will is still valid, but you only that you need to ask for a court to appoint the administrator.
Yes.
Do you think that's because the matter of fact that you appoint a group of executor, and then you can alternately mix them together. It's one of the strategy, just in case if the court require. By the time the children might have grown up, so you no need to have two executor, right? So time change, people change, the fact change.
Yes. So one of the I think Mr. Gary is trying to get at is that writing a will, especially with us here at Duty Will, we offer a great diversity of alternative options. So if this happens, then we can do this. If this happens, then we can do this. Everything is encapsulated in a single document that we can all refer to. And not only does it save time, it saves costs, it saves headaches, for the lawyers involved, everything. So putting it all together, you can sort of see how an effective strategy can really make things just way better experience.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. So now that we talked a little bit about the people involved, so we're gonna go back to the slide, and we're gonna look into the kind of problems that might happen with this sort of assets that we are dealing with. Okay, one moment. Okay. Okay, sorry guys, technical problem. Okay, so what's next? Okay.
So next part is mostly I'll be talking about, as thank you Azim, first of all. Next time we'll be talking about first part is we'll talk about people. The next part obviously is your assets. So when we're dealing with assets, we are saying that your wealth that you build throughout your life, then now after your passing, you pass on to the next generation. So it's your legacy in a way. And then let's start with a story. Not so story, like a case study. The wealth is you share with your family. Okay. Imagine there's this one person, we call it Mr. A, and then a successful very hardworking businessman in his 30s, still fighting for his career, building wealth, hoping the best for his family, right? Then he got a loving wife, got two young kids, still at a young age lah, during maybe primary school. And then the wife is a very supportive, loving, happy family. And then one day, this successful businessman just come to demise. All of a sudden, 30-year-old COVID hit. Okay, suddenly he got a cancer, or he just passed away. Now left with this poor widow lah. Say poor widow, the poor wife, having no clue at all of his husband's assets, because his husband been busy doing business, right? Doing investment as well, but not so much of sharing his ideas on where his investment, what are the assets, what property he holds, what are the bank accounts, what are the investment he does. So now that with this poor lady, have to take care of the kids some more, then have to deal with the husband's estate. Luckily, she found out that there's a will right below the drawer, and she take out a will and see, yeah, of course, a will, yes. Then he found like, yeah, there's hope. Let's hope maybe the will will give me some directions. Maybe my husband have distinct planning of my assets. Maybe I would know something from this will. She opened up the will. He's just mentioned me, the husband. Okay, this husband. I give all my property to my wife. All. Without mentioning what are the properties. So yes, now the poor lady know, yes, I'm getting all the properties of my husband. But the question is, what are the properties? Okay. The husband, the wife will probably thinking, okay, what the thought process will be like? Okay, now I'm seeing this house, so this house probably under my husband's name. I see some bank accounts, bank statement coming out, so probably some bank going on. And I recall my late husband probably have some investment with his friends, and maybe I can check his phone. Maybe I can get to his friends. These are the obvious one that says that you know. But what if the one that you don't know? Okay, so what she can do for the bank accounts, right? Yeah, she might know like some commercial banks, maybe obviously maybe CIMB, maybe I don't know, Maybank, the obvious one. But what if the not so obvious banks, like for example, Bank of China? His husband is in the business of doing like agriculture stuff. Agrobank, for example. Do you know in Malaysia how many banks?
How many?
For
40, 20?
It's way high. So there's around, if not mistaken, around 60?
60 plus.
60
The
plus.
one we run through is 60 plus. There's our records already.
60 plus banks, right? Can you imagine? Yeah, you can find out lah, but you have to get to the bank one by one. Such a hassle, right? So yeah, these are the obvious assets. What if for the not so obvious, the so-called the unknown assets, right? The unknown assets could be investments. So the husband didn't talk a thing to his wife on his investment. So this investment could be stocks, could be maybe like cash bonds, could be like the husband bought some land in outskirts for purpose of building houses or agriculture, right? The wife won't have to do.
Yeah, I agree with that, you see. Sometimes, right, I think Tom bring out a very, very good point that some is known, some is unknown, right? The known one is that where I stay together.
Yes.
Our joint saving account.
Joint saving account.
Right. So perhaps some of the accounts nearby my house. Because I go there quite frequent with my husband, there will be there. So the unknown one will be like Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin.
I don't think husband are going to tell them what how much
Right,
with
from-
Bitcoin we will be the
30,000, 100,000.
So this is the thing that they might not, they will be unknown. Perhaps some of the investment, the high risk investment, shares, then don't let the wife to worry about you are gearing so much. You are the risk taker.
Risk
You're
taker.
over here, but at the end you're still earning. You're still earning. But only that no one know. No one know. No one tell me. Right? So having a view and said, well, I finally find some clue. And then the clue open and said, all the assets give to you.
Yeah,
So it's just, are we going to treasure hunt then?
Treasure hunt.
If you're going for a treasure hunt, right, this treasure hunt is not good. Why? Because I got clients, right, at that time when husband passed away, right, he said, do you know where is your husband? Bank's account. And I don't know why. Why? Because my husband never bring me out to the business, to attend to the business, or I don't know how is business. What I know is like take care of the children very well, and then sending son and daughter to school. So about his finance, I'm not really sure. To a certain extent, right? He always pay money for her.
The breadwinner.
Right. So I go to CIMB Bank. In nearby is now I go to CIMB Bank, go to HB Bank, go and public bank. Then I bypass the bank battalion. I think, well, your husband most probably would not have account in bank battalion, right? You know what they say? Told me, you know, sometimes, right, those unlikely to happen, what will happen?
Most likely will happen.
Oh my God. Because of this word, right? You know, we need to check what Exim Bank, Bank of China. How many banks that are in Bank Walmart, this kind of thing, you see? So many, you know. So in the way that are you willing to let go if there's a chance? Right? I don't want to do a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
Right? Imagine if you go to banks, right? You think you are what they call premier client, a signature client, go there immediately got served. Take queue and wait.
Yes.
And then take queue and wait. They said, okay, this account is not our branch, go to the main branch. Then we need to go from Cheras, go to Taman Desa. Hey, imagine.
Just to cover some of the questions we got here, these are some good responses. So some people are offering ways to solve the problem. I think the point we're trying to make here is that it's not an impossible situation. Like the story here is not the worst thing that could happen. But at the same time, though, if the husband just spent, a few more minutes just detailing what his assets are, that would have probably saved months of work for the wife, right? So we're not trying to say that you have to write a will or it's gonna fall apart. But at the same time, you would be kind of silly to think that it's not a good idea, to make it easy for your wife to find all your bank accounts and your hidden stuff. So that's the point we're trying to make. You guys make some good points.
Yeah, good points over here. Maybe we want to read some of what are the question over here.
Yeah.
I see iPad is saying a personal executor have a right to charge any cost to the beneficiary for distribution asset if no amount or rate stated in will. Well, basically, it's right in laws, right? You can charge up to 4% on the gross asset. So if you're not stating in the will, right, you need to apply to court for the cost. You see, you appointing someone to works, right? Are you expecting them to work for free, right? If you're really expecting them to work for free, right? I think the one who willing to work for free will be your wife. Maybe someone will willing for free for the children, right? So anything else, I think my friends over here also will not do things for free for me, isn't it? So this is reality, you see?
Yeah.
So there's a law to say that, well, if it really is silence, the executor can go to court to apply for the executor fee, for their for the time, for the efforts, you see. Work done, you see. Need to do work.
Got a question here from iPad. Is that SSH? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Guardians only come in when the children are below 18 years old. Actually, not exactly right. I believe the Guardian Act, the age is 21.
Children is 21, minor. It's not 18, 21.
Just for the Guardians Act, though, we'd have to double check this, but the rule is you want to think in terms of 21 is for the business of writing wills. When you're thinking about estate planning, you should consider children to be adults when they're 21.
Yeah.
So that's the rule.
To a certain extent, right? The children might be 20 25 years old, even 30 years old, still children, is to the certain extent, you see. But this is, you must know your beneficiary. You are the one that really know his or her potential. What is the weakness?
Okay.
Some people is like high risk people, so you cannot take risk on them, you see. So
we got a pretty big question here. Can you explain what a living trust is and how it differs from a will? That's a pretty big topic. Yeah, if you'd like, Nancy Lee, you can message the you need will number, and I will explain to you the difference. I don't think we have time to go over this question.
Okay,
Sorry.
let me keep it simple. Living will during lifetime, will after life. Simple as that. The trust applied after life, will. The trust applied during lifetime is living trust. Okay. So Wingtech talking about, is the trust protector acts as a mediator? Sometimes is a middleman, but with the power given to him, you can restrict, you can give a wide power. Yeah, well, two-person dispute, right, always have a middleman to resolve the matters, you see. Some point of view is different, you see. Better for that, okay? So iPad also said with the death certificate and will can go to the Bank Negara, check all the bank. Well, perhaps Bank Negara don't have all your bank accounts, okay? They need to go to a respective bank, and then some of the respective banks, right, you ask you to go to a respective branch to check on it. Because why? Simple as that, PDPA. Data Protection Act, not everyone can take that. I'm going to disclose all the information to you, and in particular, bank will not easily disclose all the information to you. Okay, just be beyond that. Wingtech also can check under unclaimed money website, definitely. But when the money will go to unclaimed money, I don't know. 7 years thereafter, every year I must check.
No one knows.
Right? After my loved one demise, every year I must remind myself, go and check the unclaimed money. I don't want my wife to do that. Right? Perhaps you might have different ideas, you see. So
18 years old, can legally inherit all assets?
18 years old, yes, you can inherit. This is the age of maturity, but minor is a different thing. They have a different way of looking at that. So talking about that, I think Tom bring a very good point. A good point that this going to the treasure hunt. You know, Malaysians, right, have any ideas that you have been talking about? Well, Malaysia got how much of unclaimed asset? You know, unclaimed asset in Malaysia. Have you all think about that?
80 billion worth of unclaimed.
Okay, this is talking about money. 11 billion unclaimed by Malaysia. Billion, we don't talk about immovable. You see, the 11 billion, right? 70% come from what? Money from inactive account of 7 years. Why the money is inactive for 7 years? I just wonder. People want to save the money. I think saving account don't have a very high interest in it. Why people want to put in?
I think they just don't know, Mr. Gary.
They just don't know. Right? Fine. I said I keep the money with government. I think it's good enough. Right? They keep it for it. But after a few years down the road in 2024, government think that, well, you don't care your monies, right? Why not contribute to the government, to the wealth? So the government the country can do more welfare for the public, right? Since you're not very important, right? Why not distribute it? So they are thinking, they have an idea, say, well, if those who not unutilized, right? Why not we take it and utilize for the needs?
That is like one upside to a whole bunch of downsides that we just talked about. The risk of breaking your family, the risk of, your wife getting lost and all this. Like, I think the government doing well, and potentially it's not even guaranteed that they're gonna use the money correctly. I mean, no offense, but I think this is kind of a weak argument.
Someone is used for some benefit, rather than sitting there for nothing, you see, and then some more money is depreciating.
Okay, fair enough, but I think we can all agree that this is kind of a fail on our part. Citizens of Malaysia wake up and claim your money.
Claim your money. What you're doing there, just leave it there and claim. Is it? Do your will, do your checklist properly, right?
Yes,
for the matter of fact, do your will, do your what they call checklist properly. Then we will not have this kind of problem. Some people say this is 70 to 90 billion for what? This is frozen. This is immovable properties. Immovable properties also issues. Imagine if your beneficiary cannot work together, right? You think that the asset can be transferred? I don't think so. To appoint an executor, to appoint an administrator, it will be a difficulty, right? If your family members is not really listening to each other. So bearing in mind that whether you all want to decide that or now or later. Okay, some people say, oh, you see, insurance also got insurance people don't claim one, 327 million, no claiming on the insurance. Know why? Because you know your agent, your wife might not know the agent. The agent might be disappeared, right? The money you keep in insurance, you've been paying so much, and then you keep in there, no one going to claim. So you see, a lot of what they call your waters, right? Your money waters, right? Got a lot of hole around it. When you're going out, it's going out. You never go and pay. See, you never do it properly. Now it's got a lot of problem over here. So basically, this is what it's like. As in a life, I say, well, this is the journey of life. You see, well, you start earning, then you don't know where you're going to where you live, and then some people said, and then worse still, they have no direction. Where are they going? So you want to leave your family in that kind of scenario. Think about that. What is your plan then? I think you better to have a better plan to plan your estate. The mindset of as what they call view is what they call instruments to distribute asset according to my wishes, but I don't think that is really correct in the way that, because at that time when I'm not around, I can't hold it anymore. It don't give me any benefit at all. Right? We should have the mentality to how my estate will benefit, will help my family to improve their life, to support them, to prosper them. My children will go to university, will have a good life, then good family, and then my wife got a good shelter, and then my wife parents got someone to take care of. You see, my brothers, if I have money, I might want to help out my brothers. Since I'm not around already, I cannot take over, go to next world. Well, perhaps leaving them with some of the gift. I said a gift, a support, truly love one, you truly care. I think that one is much worthful. We doing that.
Spirit, just to conclude the presentation that we made with the PowerPoint, I do want to say one thing. We don't have to go back. It's okay. So in asking that question, what's your plan? A lot of you might be thinking that, wow, this is a lot of pressure. I have to think about a lot of things. So my advice for any of you who's thinking that this is too much, I would encourage you just to start with the basic things, just start. If you want to talk to us, about writing a will, our most basic package is very cheap compared to most of the other will writing companies. I can't really confirm that. I haven't been looking, but I would say yes. They're quite nice, and then you'll talk to me, and then I'll help you. We can discuss it, we can strategize it. I think you should just get started. Start small, and then as you go along, as the years pass by and you get more assets and so on, you can always update your will, rewrite it, and so on. As long as there's a start. I think that's a point that I want to leave with today.
Yeah, I agree with that. So sometimes, right, at the time when you're young, the time you write a will, well, family change, things change, and then children grow up. You see, some of them are going overseas, don't want to take the properties. In particular, if you go to Singapore, our neighbors, you cannot have any immovable asset in Malaysia, so they cannot inherit to a certain extent. Perhaps selling off will be a much more better choice. So this is a plan that you should consider. And then if you have wrote your will, take a time to sit down. Do I need this? This is what I plan for. Then need a strategy. So rather than writing a will that give to who, but you don't give them the how, right? Is it like you give a house, but you don't give a key, right? So basically, try to think about it. Think about this estate, right? How would it support my wife? How would it support my children? How would it support my parents, my family? But to a certain extent, my business partner, the shares, my company shares should be given to who, right? My business partner, but basically my business, who will take over my business? Think about that in depth, more in depth into that. So
we got a question here. How much for basic will writing? Can I say it?
now today's sharings, right? I think you should PM our people.
Okay,
right?
so if you have more questions about You Need Will, we have a website, youneedwill.com. You can just Google You Need Will as well. You'll find the website there, so you can find all the prices and everything.
I think we pass to Happy then.
Okay.
I pass to Happy to talk to Paramalia. Thank you very much for our inquiry. So Ivy also got a question. Will executed automatically automatically become guardian with only living beneficiary who are still minor. Example, spouse die together if no appointment of guardian. Basically, we need to differentiate. Executor talk about money. Okay? Guardian talk about welfare. So think about that. We have a different minister over here. We have a finance minister, and then we have a welfare minister over here. Okay, so they are two different parties. So if you are in doubt, just talk to us on that. Okay. So any question else, you all can type, so we can discuss through.
Well, guys, if there isn't going to be any more questions, I think we can conclude the sharing.
So Happy, do you have any question from Facebook?
At the moment, I don't see it. There's any question from Facebook.
No worries. If there's any, right, you can always PM us and then get us to discuss with. Because being a succession lawyers, right, we only want to see more family happy, and then moving forward. Because I don't want, well, living a family is something that we cannot control. Like today, well, I might be a healthy person. Months later, I might fall sick, or even worse, if I caught in accidents. But what I can promise is a plan that can promise to.
There's no guarantee tomorrow.
There's no
No
guarantee.
one will know whether I will wake up tomorrow.
Plan it early before it's too late.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for all the praises. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So we pass back to Happy.
Hi, okay. Thank you all the handsome team of lawyers. I mean, giving advices and giving us insights on what is will writing. Okay. So now is the Q&A session. Do you all still have any Q&A session? If not, I will summarize. I will try to wrap up. You know, there's a lot of info that we learned today. Okay. So one by one, I will try to wrap up. Okay, those very, very important points. Okay. So okay, there's one more question. Should we list down assets with details, example, property with address, or just property? This is by Cecilia.
I think we should list out the important details. You see, you are dealing with government departments. For example, if you go to land office, right, land office will not see the property address. They want to see title details. So technically, if you list down, I have a house in Taman Desa, giving an address 215 Jalan Desa Utama is insufficient. Perhaps you must list out something like SSD 1234 PT number, like that, because they only see that, you see. But perhaps if you go to JBJ, they will not say what car is that, Honda Jazz. No, I want the registration number.
Can I clarify that? Just to clarify, for the will writing purpose, we don't have to be super strict and formal. However, if you put more details in there, it would make life easier after, right? Once we have the will and we have to get the GP and we have to get the assets, having all those details are actually quite crucial. So if you're in an emergency or you're a soldier fighting a war somewhere and you write something basic, there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's not wrong to write basic details, right? But it helps. So I hope that helps. I hope that explanation.
Yeah, definitely. Because when you go to grant of probate, you go to apply to court, right? For the grant of probate, right? The court will ask you to list out list of assets. And then they also want to listen to your list of liabilities. So when you list of assets, right, this is what the bank will refer to. They will refer your account numbers. Perhaps if you don't want to disclose your account numbers, how much there is, how much under this account numbers, maybe a 1 million under this account. I just want to give you account numbers, it's definitely fine. If you think that I also don't want to tell you what is the account numbers, because nowadays there are a lot of scammer, but at least you tell us which branch.
Yes, correct.
Easier for us to go and to extract the information, you see. So no need to go to 60 over
banks, one by one, 1 to 2 hours each. How many months?
Yeah, that's why. So basically, they treat this view as your asset checklist, okay? A checklist means, okay, but done, collect, okay, check, read in, read, ting, next, done, ting, like that. Is it easier? Rather than you give no information, I need to scratch my head and then think about it and take a wild guess where the money is, right? It's not a joke, okay? So I think from Zoom, we don't have much of the question now.
Yeah, okay. There's one question from Facebook. I bought the premium plan. Where to get instruction to fill up my will? I think this one, Miss Kaleyi, I think you can find the advisor that you bought the premium plan form, and then I think he or she will get the instruction form for you to fill up.
Definitely. I think through the system that you can submit your information, but anyway, we'll get the, I mean, perhaps happy to try to locate the advisor to look for clients.
Yeah, okay. We'll try to get someone to help you. Okay. Okay, now let's recap. Do you all have any more questions? If not, we'll recap. Okay, basically today we learned a lot of things for will writing. We learned a lot of stuff. Okay, most of the things actually, if you want to continue to elaborate to talk everything right, I think tonight is not enough time. Okay, we'll continue until maybe a few days or what. So we basically today is just an introduction. Okay, so what we learned today is it will is just for distributing assets only? Is this the main purpose or the only purpose for will writing? Okay, so the main thing for will is we want to solve the peace of mind for us, okay, and also for our family. But what does it mean? What is the meaning of the peace of mind? Okay, so the peace of mind, other than we want, as a testator, we want to distribute our assets, we also need to think, who are we giving the benefit, who are we giving our assets to? Okay, we have to think who are our executors and also the beneficiary, because executors is very, very important. Okay, basically the executor is going to take over whatever assets that we have when we are no longer around. So will he or she be able to do the job and pass down to the beneficiary, or pass whatever that we wanted from a wish to the beneficiary? Okay, this is a very, very important things that we have to think about, okay, when we write a will. And whether we should or should not write a will. If you don't have a will, then we'll be using the Malaysia's Law Distributing Act. Okay, so it's very fixed. Okay, is this what you want? Is this really the thing that according to your wish? Okay, especially like, for example, a divorced parents. Okay, you might want to pass down to the kids, but the you have to get it is the Distribution Act is very is very fixed. Okay, so is it you have to find someone to protect the assets? If not, if let's say it's given to the kids, you have to think, can the father or the mother for divorcing parent get the things from the kids? Okay, so you have to think about all these kind of things. It's very thorough planning. It's not just about just distribute the assets. Okay, you have to think very deeply. Okay, how about like, for example, the bankruptcy, the beneficiary that is bankrupt, how are you going to deal with it? Okay, this is not simply just put in the will and then bankrupt, then I cannot do anything lah. But actually you still can do, you still can decide, and you still can plan while we are still alive. Okay, and then another thing is guardian. Okay, you imagine if your children are still very young. Okay, when we are around them, we wouldn't think of this kind of like, oh, never mind lah, we're still alive. What if really suddenly something bad happened and the children are still very young? Okay, who is going to take care of them? Are you going to allow a court to decide for you, or you want to decide yourself? Will the children be okay with anybody that the court decide for them? Okay, this is the thing that you have to think. Then what about divorced parents? Now, if let's say you're not divorced, it's very happy family. What about suddenly something came up? Then divorced parents, then who is going to take care of the children? Okay, if let's say you're no longer around, will your spouse be able to take responsibility? What if they already have a new family? So these are the things that you have to really think deeply about. Okay, Then for example, just now there's one point by Mr. Tam is very, very good. If let's say your husband and wife, okay, of course, very loving. All my things I will give to you, all your things you can give to me. Okay, normally a will write like this, okay? I give all my properties to my wife or my husband. That's it. It's a very common statement written in the will. Okay, but without proper planning, without a very detailed planning on how the properties are going to give to your wife or husband, how the spouse going to know what are the properties? Okay, like for example, if there's a bank account, not only you might not know what is the bank account number, you might not even know where is the branch or where is the state the bank account is open. Or maybe there are some more bank accounts that is, when they are still alive, you don't know. Maybe it's hidden from you or somewhat or for other purposes. You might not know. So how are you going to collect all the assets? If let's say the will is just written, I give all my properties to my wife and my husband, and let the wife and the husband go and find themselves. Okay, so this is not a very proper lah. If let's say a will has to be very detailed and very proper, because that's the function of the will. You can write a will now, but then is it going to be able to use later on when you really need to use it? Okay, this is the thing we have to think about. Like in fact, in my case, right, my dad is one of the participant in this chat room. Okay, his name is Sawadi James. Okay, he's already into his 70s. Do you think if let's say I go earlier than him, okay, so will I be okay to let him go and find all my things? If let's say I didn't plan properly, so you have to think for your. It's not about whether you are old or young. Okay, sometimes a young responsible children should also write a will in case something happened. Like that day in Penang, there's one container fell on top of a very, very young girl only, just 19 years old only, just passed away like that. Okay, how you think the mother is already very sad, is going to find all the assets, or maybe we don't know anything about whether the girl have anything for the family or not. We will not know. Without the will, we will not know. It's not about whether you are young or old. It's about whether you are responsible or not. Okay, this is the main point of writing a will. So, okay, now back to our will package. Okay, I believe you are very, very interested in our will packages already. Okay, actually, the will packages is supposed to be customized based on your needs and also your how to say how you want to put your assets in the will and who you want to give. Okay, so I encourage you, okay, to think in a way that it's not about how much is our will package. It's about how valuable you think your will be. Okay, so this one, I will suggest that whoever that brought you here, the advisor that brought you here, okay, if it's me or Mr. Kenny, okay, you go and find, you go and WhatsApp them, okay, ask them in detail. Because if you don't do this today, whatever you're going to hear is just to hear 1 year in and 1 year out, then you do nothing about it, then there's no point. Okay, so I hope that you really from tonight onwards think through and think deeply, okay, whether you have a will, you don't have a will, or you don't know what is a will. Okay, you have to find your advisors that brought you here and start doing something or start planning something. Okay, because this is very important. If you don't start now, anything happen, it's too late. You cannot do anything about it anymore. Okay, so please get in touch with the advisors or the person who invited you through the WhatsApp here tonight. Okay, for example, if you are invited by myself or Mr. Kenny Wee, feel free to contact us. Okay, we will be very, very, very happy to guide you. Okay, our legal team is not only experienced but also committed to sharing valuable insights on legacy planning and will writing. Okay, this will not be our first sharing in English, and also upcoming we also have a lot of sharing. Okay, But the thing is, we will be keep doing this because we have our passion. Okay, this is our passion. And additionally, we also train our advisors. Okay, like me, okay, I'm trained to be equipped with expertise needed to guide our clients effectively. So no matter where you meet your Univeal advisor in the future, you can trust us to help you plan your legacy with confidence. Okay, remember, planning ahead gives peace of mind to you and your family. Okay, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again in our future sessions. Have a great night, everyone. Anything you all want to add?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys,
We
for
hope
joining
to
us.
see you again. Okay. Thank you very much.
See you guys.
At GLP Global, we believe building a successful business is just the beginning. Securing its future? That's the real challenge. Unpredictable market shifts can put your business at risk. That's why GLP Global specializes in robust risk management strategies, safeguarding your operations and finances from uncertainty. And let's not forget, talent is the backbone of every organization. Retaining top talent with incentives and growth opportunities is key to ensuring long-term success. Growth requires funding, but it also demands trust. With GLP Global, your company gains the confidence of investors through solid legal and financial structures designed to protect investments, manage risks, and foster mutual success. A smooth succession doesn't happen by chance. It requires careful planning. We'll help you identify successors, define roles, and create a clear roadmap for your business's next chapter. With GLP Global's tailored business continuity, expansion, and succession plans, we'll help you protect your success, grow your vision, and pass on your legacy to the next generation. Choose GLP Global, your legacy secured.